So PDT is done and dusted. However, we wanted to do kind of a retroactive study on like what kind of costs, especially like active kind of intraday traders might have incurred from not being able to manage their 0-day positions because of pattern day trading. So this is also just kind of a testament to show like why management, especially at the the ultra short duration scale, is so important. That's kind of that's what we got.
Love it. Let's dive in.
Cool. Let's hop in.
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. So PDT rule ended on June 4th. So we are now without pattern day trading rule, which is awesome. But prior to then, PDT traders were not able to close their 0-DTE positions same day that they opened them. So they'd either do like the 1-day trick of opening the day before and then managing the day of, or they would just hold to expiration. But like a lot of those, management strategies that are very important for short-term trading were just not available to them. So no closing at 50% the initial credit, no closing at 2x loss. I know for like the 0-day scales, like some of those rules become more flexible, smaller profit targets, smaller stop losses. This also doesn't even account for just closing before noon, for example. So just like all of these, mechanics were not available to people. And 0-day trading, if you look at like OCC data, it's just exploded in popularity. So we wanted to kind of take a look at like what that kind of cost was that people would have been facing if they were trying to trade these strategies while subject to PDT and not being able to close early the same day. Make sense?
Makes sense. Love it.
Easy peasy. So study design, we looked at 539 occurrences, $20 wide iron condors, 20 delta short strikes. And again, this is kind of a more conservative case because we're not looking at the temporal management of closing your position at noon, right? We're just looking at closing at 50% the initial credit, which is still like, that's also a very liberal, credit target for 0-day strategies, and then closing at 2x the initial credit for a stop loss. And then comparing that to the PDT case where you just have to hold to expiration. And like what kind of, what does that cost you basically in terms of average P&Ls from not having those management possibilities available? Yeah?
Why 539?
That's just what we got.
Okay.
Well, that we have like, we didn't really have like dailies until 2022, like basically 2023. Like the liquidity just wasn't there. So we really don't have a very long look back of data that we've been collecting. But, with numbers of occurrences, once you get to like 200, that's when a lot of your like errors, your standard deviations tend to taper out a little bit. So this still gives you a pretty good snapshot of what a lot of like kind of typical occurrences would be like for people adopting these strategies. Yeah.
I was just curious. A friend of mine, when we used to trade at a prop firm, he used to trade like 11 lots or like factors of that. So I was just curious if you like chose that number for a certain reason.
I just like the number. No, that's all the data that we have.
Okay. Cool.
All right, let's go to the next slide. So this is really interesting because, for kind of like longer term, positions for defined risk, a lot of the time we kind of don't use stop losses, but you can see in the 0-DTE case, like those actually kind of matter quite a bit more. And what we see here is that when we look at the 50% profit target, about 70% of the trades actually hit that. And then another 28% hit the credit stop. And it was only about 3% of cases that didn't hit one of those two. And again, we're not, cutting off at noon, which is a very popular strategy for people. We're just kind of using like P&Ls to kind of define the exit conditions of the trade. But we can see that overwhelming majority of the time, the 0-day trades wound up hitting one or the other. And the majority being in the 50% of the initial credit case and profit.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting where like if you're trying to manage whether it's the profit or loss with the PDT rule, like 98%, 97% of trades would have had factors that would have hit those things. So it's just a totally different trade, right? It's like the difference is night and day. Like there's no in between with this because as you can see, almost every situation you were either hitting a stop loss or a profit target, and you wouldn't have been able to manage that. And like when you mentioned the trick of like starting a trade at the close to manage the next day, yes, that does get you out of PDT, but it puts you into gap risk, overnight risk, and things that can happen overnight too. So that is also, a different trade. So I think this is a whole new landscape now that you have the flexibility to trade however you want and manage your risk however you want.
Exactly, yeah. And you can see in both of these cases, both in the case where the profit target was hit or in the stop loss, like if we look at both of those trades in the managed and then kind of like the unmanaged equivalent case, what that outcome was, you can see that management saves money on both of those, on all the, like on average, on all the trades that we kind of looked at. In the profitable case, it's $166 per trade. And then in the stop loss case, it's $93 per trade on average that you just save in losses from being able to manage, which that was a surprising result for me. Because again, with a lot of defined risk positions, just because the loss, the max loss going into it, a lot of people don't put stop losses on, but you can really see the impact of actually employing that here. Noting again that we're not cutting off at noon, which is another, can also help offset some of those losses. So if we just go to the next slide, here we're looking kind of more at the extreme case. So here we're looking basically in the CVaR threshold case. So like the worst 5% of losses, what happened? And you can see that even more, that's again when that management really matters. When there's a super volatile market, a lot of like intraday movement, being able to kind of manage that position and have like hands-on capabilities of like, intraday, being able to like take care of that, it makes a huge difference in those more extreme cases, which we know from short premium trading, those tails, while they don't happen very much, can really skew your average statistics just because of how big they can potentially be, even though defining your risk certainly helps in a lot of cases.
Big deal.
Crazy. Big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal. We can go to the next slide. So here again, we're just kind of looking at our risk measures in this managed versus PDT case. And I think like even like we kind of, highlighted that worst case loss, but even just in typical scenarios, that management reduces the kind of like standard deviation of results by almost 50%. So very big impact there. This is kind of just a case for not just like how maybe active traders can benefit from the removal of this rule and being able to manage their positions intraday, but how important management is in general for ultra short-term trading. We see that happen at the extreme scales, but also like on the typical scales of like what you might experience on a day-to-day basis. And interesting enough, we saw like the losing streak. If we look at like how many days in a row we incurred a loss, we saw that also got reduced from that management, meaning that there's a small number of cases where the P&L actually flips from being able to like have intraday management capabilities. So a lot of interesting results here and a lot of new possibilities with the new landscape.
Absolutely.
No, it's true. I mean, it's changed a lot of things for a lot of different traders, and this is complete proof.
Yeah. Big deal.
Beautiful.
Cool. So we can go ahead and put a bow on this. Fun little study. But yeah, when we're looking at these intraday profit targets and loss targets, we saw that like overwhelming majority hit 50% profit target, like intraday for zero-DTE strategies on this particular underlying. A lot of people will have smaller profit targets of like 20%, for example, just to accumulate small, profits throughout the day. But we saw a pretty significant impact just using that 50% threshold. Likewise with risk, using not just, like the extreme losses, but just standard deviation of P&L, we saw that the variance of possible outcomes gets reduced significantly just from employing these management strategies, noting that like a pretty big one we didn't even account for here. So this is like even a pretty conservative estimation of the impact. And then, looking at the worst case losses, which don't happen a lot, we see that significant reduction really, coming into account, even though these are defined risk positions, which I thought was an interesting conclusion or result.
Yeah, I think
you and the team really nerded out on this one. I mean,
we nerded out hard. We had to cut this down too. This was like 13 slides.
Yeah, I think the big takeaway is the sensitivity of these options trades. 10-point moves in either direction in the market can be the difference between a winner and a loser. And I think this also parlays into a segment we covered last week. It was a market measure 2, where there's so much benefit to management in the last hour of trading. And that's where your risk can really come into play. And we see it all the time, like the 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. central time frame, you can see big swings in the market. And because these are such sensitive trades, if you don't have the flexibility to close them or manage them, you can be on the blunt end of that. So thank you, Julia. This has been amazing. And we appreciate your content, of course.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Happy Monday.